Whispering from the rowan tree. The bridge at Aldervale. A village mystery with Nell Rowan. Welcome to the Rowan Files, where stories drift like mist through old hedgerows, and sometimes the wind carries whispers from the past. Country lanes carry more than footsteps, and some stories are only told when the air is right. This tale begins with a mossy bridge few dare to cross, and a circle of friends bound by a pact that fractured under silence. It ends with a bell rung for the things we dare not say aloud. This is the bridge at Alder Vale, a story about memory, forgiveness, and what happens when the truth is finally allowed to breathe. The first time Nell noticed the bridge was on a walk with her neighbour Edie. They had been taking the longer path toward the old allotments when Edie cried and went abruptly quiet. There, Edie nodded her head, the colour draining slightly from her cheeks. That's Alder Bridge. No one uses it. Nell frowned. It looked perfectly ordinary, a low moss-covered structure crossing a narrow stream. A scattering of white violets grew near its edge, and a wooden sign leaned at a crooked angle, half swallowed by ivy. "Why not?" Nell asked. Edie gave a strange, evasive smile. "Some places just carry old trouble." That was a month ago. Since then, the bridge had nestled itself into Nell's mind like a burr in a woolen coat. Nell sat at her usual spot, the kitchen table where sunlight streamed in through the east window, and she laid out 3 cards for no one in particular: the moon, the 3 of cups, and the 5 of pentacles. Their meanings: secrets, sisterhood, separation. A strange trio. The moon suggests secrets, illusions, things half glimpsed and rarely spoken of. 3 of cups, unity, sisterhood, and perhaps gossip. The 5 of pentacles, loss, exile, a sense of being shut out. Something was hidden, something unspoken, and someone had been left behind. She scribbled the names of a few villagers who had grown strangely quiet when Alder Bridge was mentioned. Edie, of course, Reverend Martin, and the elusive Viola Tripp, a woman Nell had never met but often saw from a distance walking briskly through the woods with a bag full of wild herbs and an air of unapproachability. It was a chance remark in the bakery that unravelled the first thread. "Viola and them girls used to be thick as thieves," the baker muttered to a customer. "Till that Alder Vale summer. That was the end of it." Nell looked up from her lemon bun. Them girls? A few quiet inquiries revealed more. 25 years ago, a group of young women had formed an unofficial coven of sorts, not witches exactly, but friends who dabbled in folklore, nature rites, and summer solstice rituals. They were called the Alder Circle, and their secret spot was the bridge. That summer, one of them vanished. Her name was Marion Cole. She was never seen again. Some say she left, others whispered worse. The circle fell apart, and no one crossed the bridge again. Nell's dreams began to change. One night she dreamed of standing at the bridge in twilight. A figure stood at the far side, back turned, holding something that shimmered like water and flame. Nell called out, but the figure never turned around. In the morning she walked toward a bridge alone. Something called her to cross it, but the moment her foot touched that mossy stone, a sharp chill rippled right through her. Instead, she knelt and placed her hand on the wood. "What happened here?" she whispered. And just as she was about to rise, a woman's voice, faint but unmistakable, echoed in her mind. "We made a promise." The pact and the confession and the betrayal. Nell wrote letters, real ones, in ink and on paper, and delivered them by hand. Viola Tripp was the first to respond, then Reverend Martin, who confessed he had once been part of the group, in a watchful, not quite included way. Then came Ruth Morley, now a schoolteacher, who cried quietly when Nell said the name of Marion Cole. They sat by candlelight and the fire crackled softly. They gathered in Nell's cottage, where she laid the cards out once more. The lovers reversed. The tower, justice. This time, Nell let the silence linger. "What promise did you break?" she asked. Nell waited quietly. The room shivered. Viola finally spoke. "We made a pact, you know, back then, all 5 of us." "Marion loved someone she wasn't supposed to," she whispered. "A woman. Someone from out of town. She was bold with it, so we made a pact, a sacred one. We were supposed to protect one another. What was shared in the circle stayed in the circle. That, what was love, we honoured. And if anything broke, we would mend it together." "And someone told," said Martin. Ruth stared at her hands, maybe out of fear or shame, maybe both. "We thought we were so progressive, so open-minded, but when it came to stand beside her, we didn't. We didn't mend it, we let it fall. And it broke more than the pact, it broke her." It was Edie who suggested checking the old train records, and there it was, a one-way ticket to Whitby Island, purchased by a woman matching Marion's description. The day after the midsummer storm, she had run away, not died. It was decided to write a letter to Whitby. "Dear Miss Marion Cole, forgive the intrusion. You do not know me, but I write with kindness and purpose. My name is Nell Rowan, and I live in the village of Greymere. A short walk from my cottage lies Alder Bridge, a mossy span over the stream that still seems to hold the breath of that summer long past. Your name has recently stirred here again, gently, with no ill intent. I've spoken with some of those you once called friends, Viola, Ruth, Edie, and even Martin, and I believe there's a quiet longing in each of them, and in the village itself, to know what became of you. To heal, perhaps, or at least to remember well. If you are well and willing, even a few lines would be treasured. With respect and no pressure, Nell Rowan." Greymere Village, the ups and downs. She posted it the next morning, and a week later a reply arrived. Faint lavender ink on a cream paper. "Dear Nell Rowan, you write gently, and that alone encouraged me to answer. Yes, I am Marion Cole. I am well. My life has been quiet, mostly by design. I teach art in a seaside town where no one asks too many questions. For many years I believed I had been forgotten, and I told myself I preferred it that way. Yes, I left, but not because I vanished. I fled. The summer I left was full of ache. I loved someone I wasn't meant to, or so I was told. The betrayal came not only from the outside, but from within the group who'd promised to protect what was sacred. That wound shaped me more than I care to admit. And with regard to the woman I loved, no, we didn't stay together. The leaving took too much from us. She returned to her life in the city, and I began a new one by the sea. I suppose we were each other's crossing, a brief but necessary passage. We were, perhaps, each other's bridge. Someone in our circle told, whether from fear or ignorance, I can't say. I was young, we all were, but the portrayal shaped me. I kept the ivy bracelet we wore the night we made our pact. I keep it still, pressed between the pages of the book I never quite finished. Yet, reading your words, I feel something soft returning. Not forgiveness, no, not yet, but maybe the shape of it. And if they truly remember, tell them I do too. I will not return, but I no longer mind being remembered. Tell them this: I lived, I loved, and through this I realized that this was still sharp. But I will remember more kindly now, with kindness, Mary. They gathered at Alder Bridge at dusk. Ruth, Viola, Edie, Martin, and Nell. Each carried something: a flower, a ribbon, a fragment of a memory. Ruth held a tiny bell she'd kept since that summer, small and silver with a blue thread still knotted through the loop. They stood in a quiet circle. Viola spoke first. We forgot who we promised to be. They rang the bell once, for memory, once more, for forgiveness, and a final time, for all the things left unspoken. Nell stepped forward and placed a single card on the bridge stone: the star, hope, renewal, and healing. A few days later, Nell saw something quite remarkable. Ruth, who had avoided that path for years, was walking again by Alder Bridge. She paused near the stream and laid a small sprig of ivy near the sign, and she stood for a while in the quiet. The bridge wasn't just remembered now, it was forgiven. That evening, Nell poured herself a cup of tea and sat beneath the old rowan tree behind her cottage, and she opened her journal and wrote, "Not every return needs to be in person. Some healing happens in the remembering, and the whisper that says, 'You were miss. We are different now.'" She smiled and let the kettle hiss in the quiet. Find yourself sitting now on a soft patch of grass near a river, in that quiet place of your imagination. You feel the hush of the evening, the cool, gentle coolness in the air, the moss beneath your feet, and the alder leaves rustling gently overhead. The sky is fading into a gentle lavender dusk, the air holding the scent of damp stone and alder leaves. You are near a bridge, low, old and moss-touched, a place where time seems to hush. In your hand you hold a small silver bell, not loud, just enough to stir the air. You are not alone. You can sense others from the past, maybe imagined, maybe real. Beside you, others gather, not named, not seen, but felt. Each holds their own burden from the past, and each holding something unspoken. Together you ring the bell once, for memory, once more for forgiveness, and the final time to release all those things left unspoken. What a relief. As the sound fades, imagine the bridge lighting up faintly beneath you, not with fire or flash, but with knowing the path has been cleared. Take a breath and let the river carry it away. Some bridges don't lead anywhere new. Not all crossings are about leaving. They bring us home to truths that we buried, to promises we maybe broke, and to the quiet wonder of second chances. And some bridges wait for decades to be walked again. This has been the bridge at Alder Vale. Another whispering from the Rowan tree.